In this maddening and unsettling time, we're going to talk about resilience, why it's important, how to use it, and most importantly, how to build it. Like I must either use it or lose it. Let's talk about it. In our last episode, we talked about how self-doubt can disintegrate into anxiety and debilitating fear. Check that one out. In this episode, we're going to talk about resilience. Building resilience, or building the capacity to bounce back from your challenges and grow from them, is an essential tool for walking with your lions, because you're going to get bruised and beaten by them. You want to be able to get back up and keep it going. That's going to be dependent upon the amount of resilience you have. The good news is you can build it. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's focus on how to strengthen our inner foundation to handle life's ups and downs. What's resilience? According to the American Psychological Association, the ability to face adversity, trauma, tragedy, and threats from sources of stress such as work pressures, health, family, or relationship problems. There's a link in the description below for a deeper exploration. Resilience has all the ingredients of feeling, processing, interpreting, understanding, and evolving. It's not something that happens overnight, nor does it ever cease to exist. It's something that's always building, always growing as you evolve and move through your life. Resilience is a continuous learning and development process. It takes a long time to become fortified in your resilience, and the only way to get more resilience is to be resilient. And forgive yourself when you're not. Okay, I love using my dance stories as analogies for how to build resilience. As a dancer, we get a lot of feedback, and that feedback is not always comfortable, especially back when I was learning to dance. Fix your leg, fix your arms. What's wrong with this? What's wrong with that? Do it again. Get out of my sight. I've been thrown out of rehearsals. I have been criticized and insulted many times, and it made me stronger. So by the time I got into the company of Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater, in my very first few months in rehearsal, I met the famous choreographer, Tally Beatty. Beautiful black choreographer. So one day rehearsal, the full company was in the room. We were rehearsing Tally Beatty's Come and Get the Beauty of It Hot. Very difficult ballet that made your lungs want to explode. I had just learned my little part, and I was standing literally in first position. I saw him looking at me from across the dance studio. It was a long, big dance studio at City Center, New York City. And he stood up, got his cane, and there was some talking going on. The talking quieted, and he was walking over step by step, and like the Red Sea, the dancers parted, and he was obviously coming towards me. So I stood up and I held myself and said, "Oh God, here we go." He got right in my face and he said, "Get out. Get out." I left the studio, went to the stairwell, and had a total meltdown. I totally meltdown. People came to me and said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And even Alvin Ailey came to me and said, "Are you okay?" "I'm okay. I'm okay." It was Alvin Ailey. Of course I'm good. But I was a mess. I was really broken inside. So sometime later, I eventually danced the dance, and I think I was pretty good, and I got a lot of compliments. In fact, I was mentioned in the New York Times for this dance that I did. And then one night there was a celebration for Tally Beatty, and there were 3 dancers, and I was one of the featured roles in all 3 dances. He had me learn these parts. I learned some of them last minute, and I gave that show all that I had because I was proud to do his work. I was proud to be on stage. I was happy to be at Alvin Ailey. I was going to let nothing take that joy away. And after the show, curtain comes down, and as the dancers are clearing, there is Tally Beatty in the wings, walking towards me with a cane. And I'm holding my breath. He gave me a rose. And he said, "Take it. Take it." And I took the rose, and he goes, "I tried to destroy you, and I couldn't do it." And walked away. I have never forgotten that. And all the while, I focused on the work. I focused on what he wanted me to do. This was a legend, and I respected the breadth of his work. Yes, he was mean and disrespectful, and I was afraid of him, but I thought I could learn so much from him, and I did. And most of what I learned was resilience. I went to rehearsal, he would snap at me or turn his eyes in disgust, and I would keep working. I made sure my legs were up, feet were pointed, I'm turning and jumping and smiling and doing my thing. And I could tell over the years, him watching me dance, he really appreciated the work that I did. I don't know why he didn't like me. Maybe he liked me. I don't really know. I've got a feeling I actually reminded him of him because we were the same size, same kind of look, and when I saw videos of him dancing, we moved the same way. So it's possible that I was something going on there, but I don't know if I was happy or sad or proud. I just had so much respect for him. I was so young and I was in the company. I was so happy to be learning these dances from these black pioneers like him who did it all the first time, back in the 40s and 50s when we weren't allowed to use the same bathrooms as white people. We had to go through the kitchen and the back doors, and he still had a fantastic career, made an incredible choreography for the Alvin American Dance Theater and other companies. I was proud to be part of that. I wanted to do what he wanted me to do. So in our lives, you have to focus on the work. You can't be swayed by people's attitudes, people's cruelty, people's disrespect, because people are terrible to each other. And I'm sure if you watch this video, people have been terrible to you, and I'm sorry they have. They've been terrible to me. Absolutely terrible. And what I remember is that rehearsal, when he walked over to me and threw me out. I was doing the work. I knew that. And I knew that whatever was happening was bigger than me and was not a part of me. It wasn't me, even though I was broken inside. Many, 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 many decades later, as I've gone through life and have been broken inside by the things that can hurt us, I remember that, Tali Beatty, and the shield he helped me build. I call them lions, life challenges, unchanging circumstances. It's more than a metaphor, it's a way of life. So think about your challenges and the shields those challenges have taught you how to shape and mold to protect yourself because of something someone says or does. So you're prepared to walk with life's lions. Resilience. So why is resilience important? It may be obvious, but let's go through it anyway. Resilience brings us back to life by breathing hope into our stressful situations. Hope. The more you go through, the more you recover, the more resilience you have, the more hope there is. When something happens, you know you're going to get through this. By the time Tali Beatty had really hurt me that day, I knew from past abusive teachers that I was going to be okay. I was going to get through that. It was not about me or my talent. It was about him. And I was not going to let him steal my joy. And during this era of political mayhem, we need hope. And the only way hope is going to manifest if we know in our hearts that we are resilient enough to face whatever is ahead. And it's not going to be good for everyone. People are really hurting. They were already hurting. And now we are really hurting, especially marginalized groups. So you've got to put on your shield of resilience and weather the storm and remain hopeful. Resilience will give you hope to get through. We are going to get through this. Resilience also replenishes our internal strength and powers our performance. In my case, literally, the resilience and my anger and my fear, I channeled into the dance, and it really paid off. You should do the same thing in your life. Channel the resilience into your life. Give yourself hope and optimism and lean into your challenges. I do better at tough tasks knowing that I will bounce back should I fall. And I've had some tough times, so knowing now what's happening on the news with this craziness, this madness, I know that whatever happens, we are going to persevere. We are better than this, and we have to face forward with hope, with resilience and optimism to the North Star in our lives, whatever that is for you. Otherwise, we can be taken off track and find ourselves in that dark spiral of hate, which does exist. Let's not pretend that America was not built on hate. It was, but it was also built on hope, dreams, and optimism. We have to have both, apparently, for this thing to work. So bring it. Resilience can help us salvage important relationships that are essential to our happiness and well-being. You might have a broken heart. You might have been through a tough relationship with a family member, someone close to you, and the resilience allows you to open your heart again, invite others into your life, and hopefully, in some cases, forgive the people that may have hurt you and bring them back into your life, especially if they're important to you. I'm not talking about codependent abuse. That's something different. I'm talking about the resilience you have to accept love again when you've been hurt. Forgiveness is so important right now. We have to forgive each other. Many of us have lost our way, and we're not going to get very far by making them the other and saying that they're evil and hateful, even though some are. Not everybody. Most people do want love. They do want acceptance. They do want to move forward despite our challenges. Resilience can also help us recover from heartbreak and disappointment when we have to put distance between us and people or things that we love. Maybe things or people that have hurt us, disrespected us, or not treated us with the compassion and love and respect that we deserve. Recovering from a broken heart is always difficult. It builds resilience. You have to have resilience to get through that, and by getting through it, you build resilience. It is a natural, necessary evil that we all must face if we are to be in the world. We must open our hearts and lives to love. We must experience love. We must be broken by it, and we must recover from it. That is part of the cycle of life. and I don't like it. I'd rather not have to go through it. We're not going to talk about it. But yes, that is one way to build resilience. Getting over someone. So for those of us familiar with struggle, resilience is a superpower. Resilience becomes our ability and essential tool to cope with life challenges and to walk with our lions. If you don't have a fortified sense of resilience, you are not going to be walking with those lions. You'll be running from them, hiding from them, and being devoured by them. I know I'm resilient. I have faced some lions, baby. When I look back at some of them, I don't know how I got through them. Some of them are not even appropriate for a video. But know that the struggle is real. Life is real. Life happens, and we face things that are not appropriate, not fair, not equitable, and yet they are in our faces. And you have to walk with them. And you can only walk with them if you know that you've been through stuff before that you have recovered from, and that gives you optimism and hope for the future. I lost a big job, and what got me through that was knowing that I was going to get through it. It was devastating, depressed, and anxious, and all the things that you go through when you lose a big position like I did. But it was the years of having faced so many challenges and walked with so many lions that got me through that. And so now when stuff happens, okay, here we go again. Let's get through this too. There's a lot happening, and a lot of people are going to be affected by this. And I want to wish for the world that every person finds the strength and resilience to weather through this. As they say, and this too shall pass, and it will. And you want to be on the other side of it and wear those scars like badges of wisdom, proof and evidence that you are resilient, you can handle whatever comes your way. That's how I'm facing this time, and I invite you to do the same. National Institutes of Health share some research findings that say studies show that minorities are most likely to use resilience as a coping mechanism. This we know, and it's certainly true for me. Marginalized groups face more. We just do. We carry more. We face more. We have to fight more and be more. And we use our resilience to get through it. That's what I've done my entire life. For as long as I can remember, I've been battling challenges just because I'm a minority. The discrimination we face because of our culture, our beliefs, our speech, where we're from, how we behave, who we love, are directly proportional to how we're treated by the world. And if you're not resilient, you're not going to survive. And to get up and face the world with any kind of positivity, you have to have resilience. And it's built. So we use it. Here are some suggestions for building resilience that I use. Maybe they'll work for you. Make social connection to anchor yourself during times of troubled water. Have that network of friends ready to go every time you need them. That's why friends are there. And you be the same for them. Be kind to yourself and raise the value of your self-worth. You're not going to get very far self-hating and self-loathing. I've been there, done that. Not anymore. I work on it every day. You have to love yourself and embrace yourself. Be compassionate with yourself. That's how we get through these times. That's how we build resilience. Put yourself first, because a healthier you is a more productive and impactful you. Learn how to calm yourself with mindfulness to settle your mind and better manage stress. As I mentioned in episode 3, self-doubt and anxiety can quickly disintegrate into fear that paralyzes us. Make sure you check out that video for more on that. Intentionally reframe your thinking with positive thoughts using cognitive behavioral therapy. Reframe your thoughts the way we talked about in episode 2. You can have a glass half empty or half full, which will help you get through that day, through that challenge, to walk with that lion. Shoot for the stars in your solar system. They're there for you. You place them there. You set the tone for your life. You go for it. It's important not to self-sabotage ourselves by setting unrealistic goals. Be reasonable with yourself. Dream and strive big, but also be aware of where you are in your life and when you're ready for what you're ready for. You're ready when you're ready. So make sure you're ready. Dream big, work hard, and be big. Don't block yourself, but don't set a goal that is so far out of reach that you don't try. Be confident and honest about your abilities. Don't be afraid to sit with your disappointments and become comfortable with being uncomfortable. Give yourself space and grace. Develop an authentic acceptance for people as they are, even the ones that ruffle your feathers and rock your world. To find your cores, find your passion, know your why. A deep sense of meaning and purpose is essential for building resilience. Live your life, be your life. You are resilient. You are hopeful. You can do what you need to do in your life. You have to believe, turn off the voices, turn off the noise, and stay true to your North Star, whatever you decide that is for you. And you decide that, no one else does. Okay, that's enough for now. Please look out for the next episode here and the full playlist there. Let's do this. Let's walk with our lions. I'll see you there.